Welcome to the Ask Dr. Tommy O Show. The Ask Dr. Tommy O Show takes a holistic approach to our community's healthcare needs. I am your host, Dr. Tommy O. This show is dedicated to my hometown, Freeport, New York. The show to aspire, to seek, to attain, or accomplish a particular goal, such as a particular career or a level of success. The mission of this show is to inspire our youth. Enjoy part 2 of our 1-hour show. God bless.
They sagging, they dragging, come on, pull your pants up. And I know us, girl. We're in the wrong for not putting these fellas in. But I'm offended by boxers, and I think that we all should be. Here we go, come on, pull your pants up, pull your pants up, yeah. Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. Oh, yeah. What's mine? It's the new style.
We're here to motivate young people, not only to keep your pants up, but to keep your spirit up, to keep your passion up, keep your power up. One dream that you want is at your fingertips. And we're so excited about the song we just heard, Pull Your Pants Up. This is keepyourpantsup.com. We love it. We want you kids up there to fight for your dreams, fight for your futures, keep your power up, keep your passion up. Thank you.
Your musicians are phenomenal.
Thanks, man.
I mean, really, they've come a long way. I've seen couple of your musicians, they're with you about 10 years now?
Absolutely. Some of them have been with me 11, 12 years.
11, 12 years. Phenomenal, yeah. Phenomenal. But that's the reason why I wanted you on my show. This program is very important. It's the show's name, the title is To Aspire. And that's something I want the viewers here to aspire to be like you. I mean, you're a role model within our inner city, within our community in general. Let me get a little background about Bervin. Bervin and I, we grew up together. We grew up in Freeport. We graduated high school together. And he is a professional performer. He's a singer. He's a producer, songwriter. His genre of music is R&B, gospel, a little jazz. Not only musical as an entertainer, but he's also a big brother to the community and a father figure to these young youth. And so because of that, that's something that I really wanted the viewers to really get an understanding of who you are and what you do with our community. Mm-hmm. So let's get back to the very beginning and tell your story. Mm-hmm. So start from the beginning, let's go.
Freeport High School.
Yes.
That's where it all started at. I mean, taking orchestra classes, band classes. There was a guy by the name of Mr. Turner. I'm not sure if you remember him. He was actually touring with Diana Ross at the time. He did some things. Sounded real interesting to me. He talked about commitment and servitude and how to stick to something. And I kind of applied that to my life. So no matter what I did, whether it was sports, wasn't as good as you, Dr. Tommy, but no matter what I was doing, I realized I had to stick to it. I had to commit and I had to work hard.
Right. Well, that's important. You set a goal or a dream and you make it come true.
Yeah.
I was watching some interviews and over the summer we had the issue, and this is what brought this program about, where I watched an interview about the Trevon and the Zimmerman, and they had his football coach, and then he was laughing during the interview saying that he didn't encourage him to do something special, and I found that odd because we were brought up, we had mentors that inspired us to become something. We were never told we cannot
Absolutely.
do.
Right.
That was not in our diction. We never heard of anything like that. It was like you can be something.
Absolutely.
Pick a goal and work hard for it.
Right.
Dream.
Right.
Well, what inspires you? What motivates you to every day to want to continue to make a difference?
I get asked that question quite often, and part of me really can't give you that full answer because I really don't know. I know it makes me feel complete, though. So when I work with these young people and they feel good about themselves, or you teach someone something and it changes how they look at life, that's really what it's all about. Yeah, learning an instrument is cool. You know, being successful and going off to college, fantastic. But when I make you want to just change how you view life,
Right.
that to me is priceless.
Exactly.
That's what makes me want to do it.
Right, exactly. I feel the same way. You know, giving back. You know, I was lucky I wasn't given the gift of music, but science and biology came real easy to me. And I said if I get into medical school that I would give back to the community, and I was blessed. I made it, and I'm giving back. And that's why we teamed up together, and we've done several events over the past probably close to 10 years, and working on magic, and you musically inclined in teaching and giving and volunteering. You volunteer a lot, and you go around to a lot of community centers, and to, you know, enrich the community, especially the youth, and say, hey, you can do this. Join us, and with your school. Let's talk about Renaissance.
Absolutely. Well, let me say this real quick. I do it through music. All my life I've been doing music, but you do it even through your medicine, because we're at Circle of Sisters, and Dr. Tommy is here at the Circle of Sisters. Why? Because he cares about the community. There's been countless of times that you have done, like, come out and for the basketball team, you gave them all their physicals and stuff like that. Doesn't charge a penny. Kindness of his heart. Big ups to Tommy for that.
Well, that's what we do. It's something that I said, it's built into our DNA. Maybe it's a Freeport thing. That's what we say, a Freeport thing. And it probably because of parents, and that's something we should mention. Growing up in a family, you have both parents. Being spiritual, you're very spiritual.
Absolutely,
but you can see it's in your work, but also you have a gospel because that comes through you. The word comes straight through you, being anointed.
But when you mentioned about Renaissance Youth Center, we actually changed the name. It used to be Renaissance EMS. It's now Renaissance Youth Center. It's like the mecca for the Bronx.
Right.
So kids come in. We have a television show there called TLTsquared.org. Go to check it out. We have a big tour truck that goes around to different communities, singing songs of positivity, like the song we did earlier, Pull Your Pants Up.
Right.
We got a song called Asthma Can't Win. It talks about the asthma epidemic. Right here in the Bronx, we have the largest account of asthma in the country. So we're doing all cool stuff like that. We just built the science lab. We got tutoring programs. So music became like the conduit, if you will, but we're changing lives in so many ways, academically and socially as well.
Right. As you can see, that very few people do this. And part of the message is you see what we do here, the viewers, you can do that. It doesn't take much. You don't have money, that's not an issue. You have time.
Absolutely.
Everyone, God has given all of us a gift. Bervin's gift was music, my gift was medicine, but both our gifts was giving back, and that's the love and the passion of what we do, and it's an extension of our personality. So if you're on the other side of this camera and you want to make a difference, I say the greatest gift one can give is volunteering and making a difference.
Absolutely. And that starts with caring. Right now we live in a society, everybody wants to stack chips and what's in it for me and why are you doing that for free? And I wouldn't be doing that if I were you. But it starts with caring it. And you realize that if you give something to someone else, somebody else will give something back.
Exactly. Paying it forward. We say pay it forward. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, we say music with a message, and you have a large message, a strong, powerful message you've been giving in the South Bronx community. And that's something that people don't realize. Your school is located
3485 3rd Avenue, Bronx, New York, between 167th and 168th Street.
And that is the South Bronx. Came out of your spirit, said, I'm going to make a difference in the South Bronx. I want to enrich the community, the youth, and show them that they can be something special, to aspire. Here musically, but it's also education. It's more than music, it's really an education.
Absolutely.
Bervin, we're blessed to have you in our community, and I'm blessed to have you as a very close friend of mine. Like I said, a childhood friend. We grew up together, we graduated. We say it's a Freeport thing. God bless you.
God bless you too, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, Dave. All right, thank you very much, man. Good.
Okay, welcome back to the studio. Hope you enjoyed that videotape. Now, I got a wonderful program right now, and I want to introduce my childhood friends. These guys are the best, okay? When I say the best, they're the best. They're Freeport's finest. We all grew up together, and they are the best at what they do. They have a very unique sound. Their genre of music is rap. I call it progressive, where they change tempo. They're able to, within the time signature, and if you understand music, you'll see different transitions throughout their music. No one in hip-hop, no one in rap does that. They're unique, and that's what makes them the best at what they do. I'm here to introduce Son of Bazerk and the band No Self-Control and Johnny Juice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the group that bought you, changed the style, straight up steam. What could be better, bitch? One time for the rebel. Who's that?
Everybody, the hardest working man in show business. Ladies and gentlemen, get yourself go, 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 go. It's song time.
We don't need no diamonds and furs. High tracks and tight verses is what we prefer. Son of Bazerk, no self-control. All right. You don't know well, now you know.
Welcome.
How you doing?
All right. So we're going to go down. We're going to introduce every single person individually. So sitting right next to me is Johnny Juice. Johnny Juice, he is the DJ, and he is from the Bronx, and then his family moved to Long Island, and he grew up in Uniondale. He's also the executive director for the Terror Dome. And if you are a fan of Public Enemy, you've heard the song, Welcome to the Terror Dome. Well, that is the Terror Dome. That is Chuck D's recording studio, and he is the executive director. He's also retired from the United States Navy. Hoorah! I'm the Army, and Bishop Birket, he's a retired Harlem Hellfighter. So we're here supporting our community. Welcome.
How you doing, sir?
All righty. Now, next to, this is good. These are just friends. We all grew up. We're all going to have fun here because this is what it's about. Next to John is Cassandra Jackson. Cassandra, her nickname is Half Pint, and we got a wonderful story here. Now, Half Pint was just a few years behind us.
And I'm 20 years behind you.
And she was a basketball player, and she played for our high schools, the Lady Red Devils. And here's a cute story. While on the basketball court, she was recruited by a producer to lay down vocal tracks, and that got her start in music. Besides being a professional in the music industry, she's also a teacher, and I think you were a principal, right?
Principal of the alternative program at Roosevelt High School.
There you go. So making a difference. Remember, opportunities to aspire. It's more than just being one, it's being multiple things and making a difference. Achieving, that's what this is all about, to inspire. We're here to inspire you. My next guest, Tony Allen. Tony Allen is son of Bazerk. Now, we got some good stories here with Tony Allen. He also goes by TA the DJ because he also spins and does a little few gigs on the side. But besides that, this is the true story. This is it, all right? So you're going to hear it here. You probably heard it elsewhere, but this is the story. Tony introduced William Drayton Jr. to Carlton Douglas Ridenhour. You're not going to know him by that name, but you're going to know him by this name. Flavor Flav, our very own, Freeport's very own Flavor Flav, and Roosevelt's Chuck D. It's because of Tony introduced them. That's why we have Public Enemy. Also, he challenged and dared Flav to put the clock around his neck, and that became his signature look, 12 o'clock high, Freeport style.
Invested in that.
That's it.
Right? We should started the clock business.
That's it. That's it. So welcome to the show, Tony.
Thanks, Tom.
You got it. Now, my next guest, he's the deep voice in the band, Jeff Height. Jeff, like I said, he brings in the deep vocal sound. He also comes from a musical family. His father was a musician and a singer. He had, back then, we had albums. Now we have CDs, right? So he comes from a musical family, and he was inspired by his family to, strive and reach your goals. So, Jeff, welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. It's all about making a difference. All right, so let's get into the show because we want to talk about aspiring. So basically, we'll have an open forum. Let's talk about where you got your start from and who inspired you. Anyone?
Okay, well, I actually was inspired by my grandparents. They had music flowing through the house. I love classic R&B, but also my grandfather introduced me to big band era music as well as, gospel. Mm-hmm. I've always been in band or chorus. So I've had that influence of music all my life.
Right.
So this transition into hip-hop was easy for me because it was an outlet for my generation.
Right. You're also known as the female hype, the hype person, hype girl.
One and only female hype chick.
That's right. If they, you guys have to see them perform. Like I said, a very unique sound. No one out there that does this, and they're the best at what they do. All right. So now you were inspired, and who are your positive role models? Who pushed you? So we know your family pushed you, but is there anyone else? Teachers, ministers, anyone out there?
Definitely teachers. I think my coach from Freeport High School, Ernie Kite and
Kite,
Linda
yep.
Henderson, they definitely pushed me. I have mentors even today in the realm of education. You know, Barbara Thompson, Charlene Strong, and again, my family. I think we always can find mentors and people that we are close related to or around in proximity. Right,
exactly. Now you being a teacher and a principal, encouraging your students because they become your children. You become,
Absolutely.
But you become their mom.
Absolutely.
Or
Mother,
even older
nurse,
sister.
doctor, lawyer, whatever it is, I provide that need. But they also become inspirations to me as well.
Right. They push you and encourage you to keep moving to the next level.
Absolutely.
And that's what you need. It's a two-way street. We're going to push you, and then you're going to push us to be better because as being positive role models, we need to step up our game because you're looking at us. If we come across, if we're flakes, you're going to say, this guy's trying to tell me what to do? Look at him. Again, practice what you preach. All right. So, if you can go over some hardships. Now, the road to success is not easy. It's a hard, long road. There is no instant success unless you come from a family that's multimillionaires. But for the rest of us, we're just average. So there's a path that you took. You had some hardships. Explain your hardships.
You know what, though? It's like, I would put it like this. Water seeks its own level, right? So whether you in your bedroom or whatever, because with me, it was Melly Mel. Once I heard Flash in the 5 and I saw Melly Mel, that was it. That's what I wanted to do. But coming back from my father, since I was like 6 years old, I always wanted bright lights and just people around. So, it was like staying in my bedroom and getting good at it. And then, hooked up with TA. And, he was like the best of what he was doing.
Right.
So we just kind of gravitated together. And we had Daddy Raw and it was us three. So we were the best at what we did around. And we did that, and he took us, to what is now the Bomb Squad. Right. He actually took us up to meet Hank Shockley, and so it really actually took about 11 years to make a record. So in between that time, you do what you got to do to eat.
Right.
If you got to deliver papers, if you got to take bottles back, if you got to go work at the factory, because that's not going to define who you are.
Right.
But ultimately, you want the best education that you can possibly have.
Right.
And you can do a lot of things in between, because records ain't selling every day, all day long. So
right.
In the scheme of things, I think that we got lucky, and but we were ready when we were lucky.
Right. Well, that's through the hard work, like you said. You have to go through the grind. If it's a smooth path, you're not going to really learn.
We're still grinding.
Yeah. Well,
come on. How many times we've been paid? You know what I mean?
Right.
Doing this.
It's not
doing
easy.
shows and all that.
Right.
This is one of the hardest businesses to get paid consistently in.
Right.
Because
So you have to have that plan.
Right.
We call them.
Many times
It's like we call them DMD Productions.
Right.
Because you always have to have a plan B, and I think success is determined by the individual.
Right.
You determine the success. You put in the hard work, you find something that you love to do, and you find out how to build a career in that, and then you start working at it, and you start building your craft. And it doesn't matter whether you're a garbage man, a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, what have you. As long as you're good at what you do, then you will find success, and you will determine that. And then the money that everyone is chasing, those checks, that will flow automatically because you happen to be good at what you do and you love it. And that's the difference between a career and a job.
The problem with the music industry is, first of all, you have to define success. Success is different for everyone. And success isn't always what the next person feels success is. For most young people, success is being rich or having a lot of money. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have to make $1 doing this. I went to college. I have my degree. Degrees. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to do this. I do this because I love to do this. This is an outlet for me. And if it makes money, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's still fine. My success, to me, isn't based on how much money I make or how many records I sold. Now, people say that's easy for you to say. You sold a lot of records. And I have at one point. But that's still not important. I try to instill in my kids and my granddaughter, that, success is whatever you want success to be. If you're happy going this far with it, that's fine.
Okay. All right, good. So we're starting to wrap down here. We got, what, about 8 minutes left already? Okay, so we got 8 minutes. We can go over a little bit more. What you're talking about is laying a solid foundation.
Absolutely.
You know, if you want to build a tall building, you have to have a solid foundation.
Correct.
And this foundation is your education. Education, whether it's formal education or you're learning through your mentors.
Experience.
Because you had both formal as well as your mentors going into the first time you went to the studio. You didn't know how to you know, it's just like with me. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, it's intimidating. You know, you get these mics in front of you, you got all this electric equipment, and you're like, oh boy. You know, you have to learn step by step. It's a process. This process is being lost. There's no translation from point A to point B. Everyone right now is seeing point B. You're seeing these guys, you know, they're throwing the money and stuff like that. No, there's very few people that have that.
You know what though?
Fake.
Yeah.
But you said throwing money.
money.
Well, you know what that is? That's like $100 bill attached to a fishing rod, and he's going like this, and
Drawing you in to
and you're gonna keep chasing it.
Right.
You,
And
and
talking about the money that
and you might not get it, you know.
Right.
It's like Juice said, but you know, because with me it was never about the money. Because when I was like this high, you know, I couldn't perceive getting paid to do it. I just wanted to do it.
Right.
So if there was no money involved, if there wasn't a dollar involved in this, I'm still going to do it. Which is why, you know, I went to the Army. You know, I worked for the federal government. You know, I did those things. So I expect to get paid from that.
Right.
But this, you know, I'm going to do this regardless.
It's your passion, something you enjoy, and you know, and I saw you guys twice, you know, just recent because you're getting back into the groove and you're having fun at it. The first was the Knitting Factory, and that was dynamite because I saw individuals I haven't seen in a very long time, and you guys were tight then. And then just recent, because we could talk about that right now, you were on the Hip Hop's God Tour. And again, the headliner was Public Enemy, and you were with them. Again, you're part of the Public Enemy camp.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, I mean, how did that feel, you know, being out there on stage again?
That's like the
It
best.
was like we never missed a step. I
That's
think,
the
I
best.
think, you know, for me, it's like being in the classroom. They're both the same. I have the audience, and I read the audience, and I engage them, and I challenge them to take the ride with me. And that's really what I love to do. And I think the transition from me from the music business to education, and then, you know, and now juggling the both of them, that's where my passion lies, because I still am able to give my audience something and get something back.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the same way, you know, with medicine. A lot of this, you know, with the Bishop and I, everything I do literally comes out of my pocket. You know, I have a non-for-profit. We're trying to grow that, and it's tough to try to get these grants. So it literally comes out of my pocket. And like I said earlier, I would rather spend and invest in our children, sending kids to BronxNet, like they have a program here for the children, as well as other programs within the community, than blowing the money. Yeah, it could, but you know what? What makes me feel good is seeing these children coming off with a smile and education. It just makes me feel good because my parents did that. And I saw what they got out of it, and it made them feel good. It actually made me feel good looking at my parents. So now I'm the parent, and I'm doing the same thing.
Absolutely. That's what strong foundations do.
Right. You know, it's just having fun. And if you get to do things with your friends, you know, and then, you know, it's a benefit. You know, it's like having a cherry on the cake. You know, you got the icing, we'll throw the cherry, throw a little whipped cream, we're having a good time.
Absolutely.
Well, watching these guys smile at the end of every night, to see people come up to them after a 20-year hiatus, and, you know, coming up with an album cover.
Right.
An album cover, like, yo, can you sign this?
Wow.
You know, and I've seen, you know, these dudes for years, you know, doing what they do, but, you know, when their face lights up when they get that record, say, yo, you know what, I grew up listening to this. Can you sign this? And then that right there is what kind of
Whenever
makes
you
it
get
all,
somebody's
like,
story,
like,
you know,
Right.
you know, the whole thing is basically, you know, to always be approachable. And so when somebody approaches you like that, and they give you like a quick backstory, and you know, you got to light up because they're telling you, you know, yo, this got me through college, or yo, I listened to this when I was going through this, and so then it's like, okay, you know what, I was able to tap in because, you know, you were able to tap into what I was feeling and what I wrote, and that's cool, you know, and it's one of the best feelings in the world.
Absolutely. I feel the same way, you know, when I'm in my practice, I'm in my office with the kids, or, you know, just in general with my patients, when I get that feedback. I'll set up a program for them, and a lot of times I'll do it so they even realize I'm trying to navigate them to go from a non-compliant patient from point A to point B, and I have to do it in a way that they don't really see what I'm doing to get them there because they're resisting me, and by the time I get them to where they want to be, they say, I feel great. I go, yeah, that's what I wanted. I said, but if I would have came off and said, I want you here, they're going to right away, they're going to put a wall up. And that's part of building foundations and relationships and so forth, and that's what we're here today. Like I said, we're here to inspire you challenge yourself to be better. We're us to inspire you, and that's the challenge. So we only got a couple more minutes left, but we'll just do two things. One, what's the greatest place or that makes you feel good? The greatest place, the greatest arena that you've performed in?
Check it out. In Holland.
Yeah.
The first time it's like 100,000 people. I never saw so many people. It was like miles and miles and miles of people. And we headlined. It was like we were like the 11th group. Right. And so when we came out there, they were throwing bottles at the group that was on before us. I'm like, what is that? They throwing bottles?
Yeah.
So when we came out, I said, hold up, we just stopped the show. We came out to James Brown, right? Just stopped the show, said, hold up, wait a minute, check this out. Y'all throw bottles up here, we throwing them back.
Right.
And then we rocked the show without incident, and it was like, yo, that was it.
That's good.
You know, that was it.
Madison Square Garden, man.
Madison Square Garden. That's everyone's dream. At the Garden. We're finishing up here. What I'd like you to do is look right into the camera and offer a piece of advice. I want you to really give them what you went through. You know, your passion of, I want you to challenge yourself and be the best you can be.
Exactly. Well, the first thing that I would tell you is in education. When I was coming up, an education was not elusive. You could get it. Right now, they're making an education so elusive, and you're already rebellious. And what you don't understand is what they're trying to take away from you was what you need the most. So chase that elusiveness, chase that education, because that's the only thing that you're ever going to have forever.
Very good. I want to thank you guys for being here because it was important. We got to wrap up this show now because it's been an hour. And again, it was a pleasure. And we grew up together. We went through the same teachers, same schools, everything. And
Except
you guys,
for me, because I'm only 19.
and then, but you guys are a success story. I mean, you know, we all grew up, you know, and doing the same thing.
We
and
went to the
you
same
reached
parties. We hung out in the same South Sides and walked the same hallways and listened to the same music and everybody and everything was interchangeable, you know. And so and it was never a white and a black thing, you know. It was like a Freeport thing.
It's a Freeport thing.
And that's all it is. And look at the colors you're wearing. That's the Freeport thing. Red and white.
There you go.
It's the Freeport thing.
I didn't hang out with these hooligans, man.
But I'm just saying.
All right. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Bishop Birket Church Life Community Church. And I want to thank Bervin Harris, Executive Director of Renaissance Music with a Message Youth Program. Dee Thomas, Metro Plus Outreach Director. Ronald Hall, CEO of KeepYourPantsUp.com. Son of Bazerk and the band, No Self Control. And DJ Johnny Juice Rosado. Thank you. God bless. Executive Director Dr. Thomas D. O'Brien II of Health Education Learning Programs, Inc. addressed the black community's feeling of helplessness and hopelessness. This show was a collaboration with BronxNet, Lehman College, Bishop Dr. Timothy Birket and Dr. Thomas D. O'Brien II. Supported by Diamond Accounting, Church Life Community Church, Health Education Learning Program, Inc., TransJazz, and Prospect Avenue Pharmacy. Dr. Tommy O dedicated this show to his hometown, Freeport, New York.